Hello guys. Traversable MGTOW is at it again, falsely accusing people of being pedophiles. Traversable, in a sad and pathetic attempt to smear men he knows full well have done nothing wrong, released a recent video titled, "It's Everyone's Friend, It's Tyler Pedo Supporter." In this video, Traversable does what he does best: lie, and then lie some more. I'm going to play you a short clip here.
Here's this guy right here, Amos Yes, or whatever his name is, openly supporting child pornography. And one of his favorite viewers just so happens to be Tyler Preston. Tyler Preston was the guy who openly attacked me for saying, yes, there he is. There he is right there. Tyler Preston was a guy that openly attacked me for saying, hey, Immortal, stop running a freaking pedo shop. Now, Tyler's been on this guy, the porn addict, the child porn addict that likes to look at pictures of little boys naked, obviously, or like to support these people. And Tyler's been on there saying all sorts of fricked up things. It's convenient for him. The whole atheist community supported this guy. The whole atheist community was all over this guy. They're like, oh, he's the greatest thing I've ever seen. He understands atheism like no other.
Notice the insanity. Amos Yee released a video which quite frankly I was unaware of, but found repulsive when I saw it. Tyler Preston 20, a well-known YouTuber, expressed his staunch disagreement for any move for society to legalize sex with children, and stated categorically that he could not get behind Amos on this. Then Traversable states that, quote, the whole atheist community is behind Amos on this, without any form of citation or evidence. It's listen and believe 101, Traversable MGTOW style. In his video, he then brings in Immortal, who he has smeared for the last year, and he smears the man again. The thing is that Immortal has never been involved in anything of the sort. Immortal has never shared any images of children, not in a now infamous Hangout Gate or subsequently. Traversable has admitted this when directly asked, in a subsequent discussion and chats with myself, which are in the public chat window of Tyler Preston 20's video. The reason I have paused the screen here is to show you in stark clarity the level of madness that Traversable is sinking to. So, just to recap, individual A, that is Amos Yee, brings out a video suggesting that child porn should be legal. Individual B, Tyler Preston 20, expresses dismay at such a suggestion and states that he cannot personally support such a move, likely on moral and legal grounds. And then Traversable then accuses individual B, that is Tyler Preston 20, of supporting an individual A and being part of a child pornography ring. Guilt by association and madness at its absolute finest. The reason I'm making this video is quite simple. The pattern is almost identical to the tactics used in the now infamous Hangout Gate, the subsequent fallout, and the relentless campaign of harassment and intimidation waged against Immortal, Salucci, Alex Brown, Turkman, and myself by Traversable and his friends. So let's just recap what happened. Many persons, including Traversable, Immortal, Shining Light, and Stacey King, took part in a hangout, now known as Hangout Gate. As people do, certain individuals whose channels mostly are no longer active, I might add, decide to play the role of buffoons and share perfectly legal, if extremely distasteful and shocking, images from gore.com, where persons are, I guess, partially or fully naked and in some way, shape or form mutilated. Some people enjoy that kind of stuff. It's not my thing personally. Immortal does not take part in the sharing of any images whatsoever. as admitted by Traversable in a video which I will play for you shortly. After the hangout, Traversable and Shining Light declare Immortal to be involved in a child pornography ring. Where have we heard that kind of nonsense before? Even though they know this to be completely inaccurate and slanderous, Traversable begins spreading this all over YouTube. He then doxes Immortal. Traversable's friends, including Red Pill Gamer and Shining Light, aid and abet in what they know to be completely fallacious accusations made against Immortal. When directly asked for any evidence of illegal acts on the part of Immortal, Traversable and Shining Light have pointed to Hangout Gate, in which by their own admission, no illegal pornography was shared, and any gore.com images were certainly not shared by Immortal. Their main gripe seems to be with the fact that one of Immortal's main hobbies is watching the spectacularly famous manga and anime series Dragon Ball Z, plus his admitted enjoyment of the quite normal sexual practice of consensual bondage with adult women. In a later discussion between these men, in a clip I'm going to be playing for you very, very shortly, Traversable lies that he has never accused Immortal of being a pedophile or drawing pictures of little girls, until Traversable is then faced with evidence of his false accusations, after which he stutters and then resorts to platitudes of, guilt by association. Traversable also clearly fails to grasp the difference between Dragon Ball Z and child pornography. Traversable then goes on to state that BDSM is wrong, quote-unquote, and a mental illness. Traversable states that any man who likes anime must have mental health issues. And here is the clip from the hangout where Traversable is asked repeatedly at point-blank range for any evidence of wrongdoing on the part of Immortal. He cannot produce such evidence, and when asked directly, he concedes that Immortal has actually done nothing wrong whatsoever. Traversable was asked if any illegal images of minors were distributed to anyone whatsoever, which he again responds in a negative, that no images of minors were distributed at all. Traversable was asked how he was able to then label other men pedophiles when he knew they did not share any images of children. He doesn't come up with a satisfactory answer. And Traversable then openly discusses doxing people he has falsely accused.
I have a lot more information that I restrained myself. I restrained myself a lot, and that's what I said. I said if I was going to dox somebody, I have the talents to give out names, addresses, phone numbers. I have pictures. I have those talents in life. I'm a private investigator by trade. I could have took this thing so much farther, and that's what I was saying. But I restrained myself. I kept an etiquette about myself. I think that's what I said.
Okay, but why would you even want to do that to a man at all?
I wouldn't want to do that, and I showed such restraint that I didn't do that, did I?
Okay, well, why would you do that in the first place? Do you have a beef with me or not?
I have a beef with the kind of anime porn that's been sent out there.
Oh, okay, all right, wait a minute. All right, now we're...
Interject for one moment. Now...
don't interrupt, Turk. There will be an etiquette in here. Do not interrupt.
Okay. You don't have to raise your voice.
All right, Traversable, this is a big problem because it seems you're connecting me with anime porn when I have clearly shared no such thing. So where are you getting this?
Where am I getting that? Did you look on your page? Little girls with their dresses pulled up, stuff like that. Is that what you want to put out as a MGTOW? Is that what you want every person out there to think MGTOW is about?
What are you talking about? What you showed on Facebook is my Dragon Ball Z stuff. That's the only real anime I share with people.
May I interject?
Go ahead.
Now, Joe, you seem to not make a great distinction. Now, there's a huge difference between anime and pedophile images. Now, there was no pedophile images in that hangout. There wasn't. You know, anime is not synonymous with pedophilia.
Link Boot disseminated that to the community, And we talked about this earlier. When you disseminate those sort of things to the community, don't you think that there's children watching?
May I add something here before it continues?
Yes.
Okay. Just Traversable, I've been meaning to ask you this directly, and now's my chance. You made an accusation claiming that I draw pictures of little girls and beat them, and I want to know where exactly you came up with this, because that is false, and I want to know why you said that.
That you draw pictures of little girls and I beat them? I don't recall saying that.
Well, I have a screenshot of it, and maybe you typed wrongly. I haven't shared it with anybody, but I just wanted to ask about that because you did write it.
You can share that screenshot on here. If you just
if we can see that in context of what we were talking about, the issue is, what are the real laws around here? What offends men around here? What I want MGTOW to be seen. Do you want, like I said, do you want MGTOW to be seen as the guys that were fine, respectable, decent human beings with suits, ties, and people? We can take this to Congress, or do you want MGTOW to be seen as a bunch of guys that look at manga porn?
Well, taking this to Congress, that's exactly why the men's rights movement exists.
Yes, that's exactly why the MRM exists, the men's rights movement. We have to present ourselves in a decent way. Do you agree with that?
Hey, Traversable, before we get a little deeper into it, again, you asked for the screenshot. I shared it in the G+ chat. Did you see that?
I'm looking for that right now. Which G+ chat?
Yeah, let me read it out. It says, you said to Adavonoy, who's that guy with the little girly anime avatar.
Okay,
said,
yeah.
He said,
so I'm talking to someone else, not you.
You mentioned me by name. Read the last sentence.
Well, go on and read that.
All right, it's Shining. Do you want to read it?
Okay, it says, Traversable, you said, I don't invite these men in my group for good reason. They are flawed. We've seen what they do and how easy they fall from grace when a woman enters the room. I need strong, honourable men around me, and that, the last time I looked, was my choice. Messenger is a good man, worthy of praise. Immortal draws pics of little girls and beats them. It's sick, and there's a difference in character.
If I could defend him more.
CS, if CS is watching, was that appropriate? Was that appropriate? Does anybody think that that's appropriate etiquette?
Was it appropriate for Messenger to reveal personal information about CS? Tell me.
Put out what?
You put out your Facebook page to be seen by the world.
Okay, all right. What we need to get back to, again, because we're diverting a little bit, is I'm going to ask you specifically. You have leveled an accusation that I draw pictures of little girls and beat them. I want you to show proof of that, because that's false. Traversable, you know better. I have to say, when I first saw that you wrote that, I was very, very mad, and I want to know why you're lying about this, because that is not true.
Were you in Hangout Gate?
Yes, I was present there.
Yes. Were there pictures, drawn pictures of little girls that were with heads cut off?
I don't really remember all the images because I wasn't there the whole time.
Zeta X shared them a little while ago. There was pictures of images with mutilated body parts that were drawn, that's simply portrayed as art.
Okay, and did I draw those? Did I share them? Because that's the accusation, Traversable. So you are accusing me of drawing those images.
There's complicity here.
No, excuse me. That's not what you're saying. You have accused me of directly drawing those images, correct?
Directly drawing them.
That is what you have accused me of. All right, let's stay on target. You have accused me of drawing images, animated images of little girls. All right? Are you standing by this?
That you personally sit down and draw images? I don't know what you do in your personal time, but if you're looking at those books, you are representing your thought process.
All right, looking at what books? What are you talking about?
Of drawing images. Are they drawn images of little girls?
Do you have proof that I look at books of animated little girls?
Yeah, that's why I shared your Facebook page.
No, I have no images of little girls on my Facebook page. What are you talking about? I have one bondage image of a grown woman, and all the other images are of Dragon Ball Z. So what are you talking about? All right.
Okay.
The only thing that I think that I'm still mad about that's left over from all of that was when Messenger Rising posted a comment saying that I shared pictures of mutilated women and dead children. That really pissed me off because that is utterly false. And
Let's cut this thing way back and just not put the anime manga up there.
well, Traversable, so are you getting me confused with Alex Brown? Because you're saying the exact same thing. You're saying Alex shares pictures of women with dresses that you can look up, and now you're saying I'm doing the same thing. Are you sure you're not getting us confused?
You both are pushing the same level. You both are trying to push that bar.
No.
I'm saying the bar that I have children. So that was John's question there. I have children and concerned. The state which I live in has a certain bar, and that's the bar I live by because it is
things that maybe was not them.
If I'm allowed to call this stuff out and say this is inappropriate for my child to watch, and that's what I do. But I got these people around here that says, no, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to decide what's appropriate for my children to watch, and I'll regulate that for you. And all I'm asking is MGTOW is don't drag us all down.
Okay, I don't think that's what you're saying. You're going after specific men and calling them sick fucks for what they watch or what they do. You're not talking about protecting children. You're going after specific men and accusing them of stuff they're not doing.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Why are you doing that?
I'm going after individuals that it's not false. I'm going after individuals that I think have crossed that bar.
Okay, and why am I one of those people?
Because you crossed the bar.
I think the problem
No. Shining, he is accusing me.
All right.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
All right, how have I crossed the bar? I want to hear it.
How have you crossed the bar?
Yes, tell me.
You're with that manga and your fetish for fetish and your SBMD fetish, your manga, your mental health community. You don't think that's crossing the bar of what's appropriate?
My manga is Dragon Ball Z. Okay, Dragon Ball Z was being aired on Toonami and Cartoon Network. Children could fucking watch Dragon Ball Z. So you tell me how Dragon Ball Z crosses a line.
I think the problem is with Turk and Immortal. You've been lumped with that lot. You know, you've been lumped with the with those guys that do those things. Now, I've not been watching what any of you guys have been doing. I've not been watching what's been happening anywhere except for a few channels. So you'll excuse me if I'm not up to date with what's going on. But I think the problem is Turkman and Immortal. You're lumped with that lot. You know, ever since whatever Hangout Gate and what's been going on, you've been lumped with that lot. Now that's what I think's happened. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's not fair. That's not fair, then, is it? Why can't we deal in facts and evidence instead of just saying, well, because you're in a place, y'all are guilty of the same thing.
Guilt by association. Guilt by association.
Okay,
Jack.
Okay, well, I mean, Traversable, is your problem the fact that I am members of BDSM communities on my Google Plus page? Are you saying I need to leave those groups? Those groups are for adults, you know.
I'm saying leave those groups where they are. Don't bring them here.
Okay, I'm not.
You sure did.
What are you talking about?
You aired that on public on your Facebook page.
No.
And you put that. I've seen your YouTube pictures. You put hundreds of BDSM things in there, and those I can't. Somebody had taken a screenshot of that page of yours where you had all your pictures in your YouTube page, and some of that stuff was really lewd. It was really lewd. For you to say that you didn't do that is just, it blows my mind.
I didn't. There's only one bondage image in all of Facebook. The rest are anime.
That was after.
Maybe a few memes.
Yeah, anime for a grown man, really.
What's the problem with that? You're saying a grown man?
Kindergartner? Are you a kindergartner?
No, that's good. No, Turk.
You have mental health issues.
Turk, let him talk. Let him talk. Okay, so
you have mental health issues. Do you have mental health issues?
No.
Are you a kindergartner?
No.
Act like a man.
And
What?
so men are not supposed to watch anime, correct?
Right.
Okay, good.
And manga.
I'm glad we have that on record. Thank you for saying that. All right.
And every day of the week, that will be my decision to make for myself.
Okay,
Well,
that's
I think
good.
you're an immoral person. I think you're an immoral person, and that's the bottom line of it. You brought that stuff to MGTOW, and you painted it all over MGTOW, and then you deny that it's there.
No, no, I don't
That,
deny that my love of bondage is there. I've made that public, but if you're accusing me of sharing pictures of little girls in sexually suggestive positions, that's a lie, and I am very, very upset that you would accuse me of that. That's really
you,
where
I
the
think
anger is coming from.
now, this BDSM thing, BDSM, yeah, it's a lot of people enjoy it. There's women that enjoy getting slapped and spanked. I mean, why is that?
what does that have to
If
do
you
with now?
do consensual, I don't see the issue here. Why is that such a terrible, immoral thing?
What does that have to do with MGTOW?
You're insinuating that BDSM's bad, and you're vilifying Immortal because he likes BDSM.
BDSM is a clinically it's a clinically described illness.
That's debatable.
What?
It's debatable by who. I can look at. I'll
No,
go to.
oh, very good,
I'll
very
go
good.
give you I'll go get you the code if you want the code. Do I need to put the code up there?
What code? I mean,
Code?
I know it's debated. There have been studies
Not
released
debated.
saying that people who practice BDSM have better mental health. I mean, this is being debated.
That's from the BDSM community.
No, this.
From the psychiatrist community, it's a fetish and it's coded as an illness.
Okay, I'm telling you, there are other psychiatrists that are arguing contrary to that.
So if you're gonna disseminate that stuff in a private room with all adults, that's okay for you guys to do.
Okay, but see that hangout you keep bringing up, Traversable, was private. It was not being shared live. It was not being broadcast.
I do understand, John, and I respect that. However, it still doesn't, excuse, making light of a situation which was very severe. And also, I find it hypocritical again, where you talk, looking after your fellow man and all this stuff, where when you disagree with them or you have a dissenting view on things, then you go on an attack. You've gone on an attack on me, you've gone on an attack on the Immortal, you've gone on an attack on Alex Brown, just because we're simply different. And we did not share anything that was, I mean, the allegations of pedophilia is absolutely atrocious. I mean, geez, I feel betrayed, to be honest with you, as a fellow man.
What
Really?
did someone call you a paedophile?
I've been called pedophile by, I've had, Joe's made implicit suggestion of pedophilia going on in that hangout gate.
Yeah, but
Okay,
he didn't
let's
say
talk
you
about
would.
implicit suggestion. When I mentioned pedophilia, I mentioned pedophilia in the form of disseminating porn to minors, and that would fall under the category of pedophilia. I never called your name. Doing what you're doing is what's called begging the question, Turk. You're begging the question. You're automatically associating that with yourself, and I've never called you out as a pedophiliac. But what happens in these situations is you start begging the question, and that's what John's talking about. You have to control that impulse to beg the question.
Traversable, when asked directly whether anyone has shared any images of children, stated no. He stated that he had never alleged that Immortal drew pictures of children and beat them, but the screenshots showed Traversable to be a liar. So now, why have we seen, for the best part of a year now, comment after comment, video after video, where Traversable labels Immortal a pedophile, where he labels myself a pedophile defender for the crime of asking him to produce evidence to back up his incredible accusations? He has no evidence, he's simply making it up. On a final note here, guys, I'm not asking you to pick a side. This isn't about sides. It's about concepts such as the presumption of innocence. It's about the right to have evidence advanced to support any accusations of wrongdoing, And it's about we as men going our own way, demanding that men within our midst adhere to the very, very same values we are now rightly demanding that women adhere to. If a woman were to come into our midst and without a shred of evidence accused a man of sharing indecent and illegal images, we would have quite rightly ridiculed such a person. Why do we stay silent when the perpetrator is male? And again, I know I've recapped like 5 times here, but Traversable stated that, quote, the images shared on the now infamous hangout known as HangoutGate were not actually illegal. They were gore images, which he personally finds distasteful, and you may find them distasteful, but they're certainly not illegal. He has stated and admitted that Immortal did not actually even share any images whatsoever on this hangout, and his chief complaint against Immortal is that Immortal was present in the hangout in question, and hence guilty by association for simply being there. Well, Traversable was also present on the hangout, and by Traversable's own logic, he then shares in any culpability. His chief complaint against myself is that I have the temerity to stand up for men he has put a target on, and demand that he produces proof to back up his accusations, and without proof, I deem his accusations to be baseless, and I will not cease my association with these men. Traversable demands, like feminists do, that you listen and believe. Believe in claims he himself and the available evidence both contradict. That you accept his accusations as facts and his words as evidence. One thing I have always appreciated about men within MGTOW is the attitude of fairness and open-mindedness that each and every single one of us both demand and display. And I am confident that you will display the same fair-mindedness when dealing with all of the persons Traversable, Shining Light, and their group have falsely accused. And finally, what can you do going forward? Well, firstly, you can and should demand concrete proof when such claims are made, irrespective of the gender of the accuser. You can hold men within MGTOW to adult standards. If we refuse to allow women to falsely accuse men of rape and child molestation, we ought to be just as indignant when men such as Traversable and Shining Light do it. You can display a zero-tolerance attitude towards claims not backed up with evidence, refuse any listen and believe type messages, whether they come from feminists, Shining Light, or Traversable. You can, and perhaps should, treat male false accusers with the same contempt and vitriol that we all display towards female false accusers. Traversable, your days are numbered, and your reign of terror is certainly at an end. Thank you very, very much. This is CS MGTOW.